Hello again, this is UML Operator. Hello, in this session, we're going to do a redo of building a data model in Sparx EA Part 1. The one that I published back in June had some errors in it, and we have a few hundred views on it, and I want to make that correction. But first, I have to give a special thanks out to 1988 Eric Jansen. He had written a comment under the video and was 100% correct. In my haste, I drew the connectors in the wrong direction. So we're going to correct that in this video. All right, to get started, in our demo folder here, we're going to create building a data model. All right, and in that, we're going to use extended data modeling. And now we have a blank workspace and the tooling to get started. Let's bring in our first table. So I'm going to drag and drop a table element in here, and I use a convention during prototype and design to identifying the elements. I start with TBO, which is table, and then this first one's going to be order. The next thing I do is I open this up, and I want to choose the data technology. And Sparx gives us a plethora of technologies to choose from, and I'm just Microsoft SQL Server. We're going to use Microsoft SQL Server. And then 2012 takes us up to current version, so we're fine there. We're not going to do anything else. We're just going to hit OK. Now, when I bring in the next table element, it will remember what I chose in the previous. All right, so again, I'm going to use TBL to start out. And then we're going to bring in a table we want to call shopping cart. And we're going to bring in another table, TBL, and then this is going to be cart item or items, but let's leave it singular, right? So we have three tables we're going to play around with in this demonstration. Now let's start adding some columns or field values. I'm going to go into order, double click and open it up. There's a couple of ways to do this. And I'm going to go into table detail tab right here, and I'm going to choose columns. Now you could set the data owner right away. I'm going to leave it blank. You could do your table space away. You can see DB version has been chosen. We're going to go right into columns. And first one that we're going to bring in is our ordering ID, and we'll call it that. This is an integer. I'm going to type I twice, so it scrolls down to int or integer within our choices using Microsoft SQL. So this table is set up to the technology you chose. So that's why you want to do that first. This is going to be a primary key value, and of course not null. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to hit close, and I'm going to hit OK, right? So now I've got a primary key, and it's starting to build out the rest of the table information, all right? We're going to do the same thing for the shopping cart. So I can double click on it here and go right to column, table details, columns, go right in here. And let's call this, I'm going to do it this way, lowercase cart ID, right? And again, int, I could choose from my list right here, or I hit I a couple of times and it scrolls down for me. This is going to be a primary key, and I'm just going to hit close, and then we've got that one set. And I'm going to do the same thing for cart. Let me do something here. Double click on this, bring up this dialog like this. Let's go to features. You can see in the features window, it knows that I'm doing data modeling, so I can choose do it this way. So in the lower right, I'm going to use lowercase c, cart, item, fat finger that, ID, tab over, hit I a couple of times to get the int, hit the space bar to check that as primary key, and now that one's done. So those are the ways you can start and manage your columns. Now we can add more fields into each one of the tables, but instead of doing that, let's start setting up the relevance between these tables, the connections between these. So it's very important you understand what your source table is versus your target table. And that's going to make more sense in just a moment. So shopping cart is a source for orders. Cart items in the shopping cart is a source for the target shopping cart. So when you're drawing your connectivity, your associations, you're going from your source to your target, drawing an association. You get the foreign key constraint dialog box that pops up. You can manage your cardinality. This way, we can see that the child is the shopping cart and the parent, the target, is the order, right? So we have one shopping cart per order. So my cardinality on the child is 1. So 1 to 1, let me hit OK. So what you just saw there happen in Sparx model driving this data design is it set up your index, your foreign key relationship, and of course you have your primary key in each one of these, right? We're going to do that again for cart item to shopping cart. But before we do that, let's select this association. Let's go to properties, and you can see right here, source is the shopping cart, target's the order, all right? So make sure you understand what your source and your target is. I often make mistakes myself coming out of class diagrams, just drawing the target and the source incorrectly for data models because you don't get the same property window and a bunch of other excuses. So as long as you understand what your source is versus your target, we're going to go from the source to the target. We're going to draw an association. Your foreign key constraint is going to be proper. So your parent, your target is the shopping cart. Your child, your source is the cart items. Now, the child is the cart items. Can we have 1 or 0 to many items relevant to a cart? And the answer is yes. We could set it to, hey, we want to make sure there's at least 1 before we start building, and you could constrain it that way. But we're going to use the 0 to many cardinality or relationship, and we're just going to hit OK. So again, it draws out our indexes properly. We have our primary key, we have our index, and then we have our foreign key. Now I can come in here, go right to this and select it, and I can see the constraints and other properties. I'm going to go ahead and double click this, and I can bring up the constraints and indexes for this particular table. So there's your foreign key, and you can do notes, explain it in your design. Here's your index, and then here's your primary key reference. And again, Sparx gives you the ability within the database to do other design and management of the attributes, the constraints, elements within your tables. Now notice when we drew or associated these two tables for the foreign key, it inserted the order ID as a foreign key relationship to order, right? And it did the same thing for the cart item. I didn't create these, it did it for us when we were modeling and setting up our association source to target in this table design, all right? So it's very important you see the automation in here. Now you can come in and add some other attributes if you wish. We're going to be drawing other associations with other tables, such as billing, shipping IDs. We might want to add in create date, update, payment method. We can add all of that in as we proceed in this design, but it's a good idea just to start with simple tables, your key references for each table, and then start drawing in your associations and let the modeling tool model the attributes for you. Okay, before we continue, what I want to do is show you a couple of things that you can do during modeling. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this particular table. I'm going to go to table details again. And in here, we talked about adding columns, and we added a first field or column, made it primary key. I'm going to go ahead and close this. You can get to constraints by selecting this. Right now, we just have one primary key identified in here, but if we go to this one, which we did, I'm going to go ahead and not double click here because you can launch the same thing that I'm going to go to just by selecting it. But we're going to go into the main property dialog. We're going to go to table details and we're going to launch constraints. So we get to this table and here is our primary key. Here's our index and here's our foreign key constraint, right? Now, if we go to columns and we select these items, you can select the item that is the primary key and you can say auto number. We want to make that true. It automatically starts at number 1 and increments by 1. And not for replication, I would leave this at false unless you plan on blocking this from replication. So we have that set, and now this particular field in here, this primary key, is set properly when we go to run our DDL, our schema, our SQL, right? So I'm going to do each one of these. So again, I can go to here, I can click on constraints, I can go to the particular field or column, go to columns, select this, and I can say, I want this to auto number starting at 1, increment by 1, right? And this is all configurable. Consult your DBA for more in your design. So we're going to do the last one here. We had a unique ID, a primary key. I'm going to go to table detail, launch this, go to the card item, which is the PK, go to column, card ID, card item ID, and I want to set that to true and starting at 1, increment by 1. All right. So now those are configured. I can go in and double check them. Just select this, go into it. You can see it's set. I can go to this PK, select it. It is set. And I can go to this primary key PK and it is set. All right. And we're not going to touch the foreign keys in this particular case. And we're going to generate this SQL to deploy within our SQL environment, SQL Studio. Okay, let's generate our SQL. So just click anywhere within the diagram model. We're going to go to Develop, Data Modeling in this group, Generate, and it brings up this dialog box. And because we selected the entire diagram, it selected all of the table elements within that diagram. And we're going to go ahead and publish to this target source. And it's using the name of the package, and that's fine. We're going to go ahead and do that, right? So I'm going to hit Generate, and it's done. I'm going to hit View, and I'm going to hit Close. So it generated our DDL, or data definition language, programmable file for setting this up. So the first section is our drop foreign key constraints. We're rerunning this. The next thing to do is to drop tables when we're running this, and then to create our tables. And you can see that it's creating our primary keys right here, which our identities are start at 1, increment by 1. All right, so it resets all of that. It creates our primary key indexes and uniques. So here's all of those constraints, as well as our foreign key constraints, all from the tables that we just created in this simple exercise. Again, you can do one table at a time. Select in this diagram, you can hit Generate, and you can just check off the ones that you don't want to generate, but it's going to write it to the overall file. Or I'm going to close this. We're going to open this table up. We're going to go to Table Details, Generate DDL this way. So when we run it, it brings up this dialog box. We go to where we want to publish it. We're going to go ahead and step on this one. Yes. And we're going to go ahead and hit Generate and View this way. We'll go ahead and close these, cancel. And you can see one table at a time. We have a DDL that we can run or rerun within our database through our studio anytime we want. So as we're going through iteration in design and collaboration, you can generate all of the tables at once, regenerate them, or one at a time. All right, so that's going to be up to you. That's an option that you have. So now I can bring this DDL into my SQL Studio and run this at any time throughout our design sessions and so on. So we'll go out, deploy it to our SQL environment, run it, test it, maybe start doing some coding, some pilot programming as we're progressing in the project. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. In our next session, we're going to be adding some fields to our tables. We're going to be generating some activity diagrams when we do scenarios. From those scenarios, we'll be running some test cases, and we'll continue to build out our requirements relevant to the tables, and then rinse and repeat. Back through scenarios, test our concepts and ideas, make sure that we did not make any mistakes in connectivity, in our key references, and the data technologies that we've chosen. Thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Until then, happy modeling.